Hello everyone, today I'll be checking out A Bellagio and Campbell for their Italian food. A Bellagio has been in downtown Campbell for many years and pretty much as long as I can remember, and I've passed by it a countless number of times, so I decided that today I'm finally going to be checking them out. I love myself some good Italian food and it's been far too long since I've had some, so let's go. I just made it here to A Bellagio and I'm looking forward to the food because they got some really interesting and delicious looking dishes. Of course, we gotta start off with the classic starter, which is just the bread basket, as well as some olive oil and balsamic vinegar for dipping. They give us these little nice toasty rolls and I'm just gonna give it a dip in our olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Oh, that's delicious. It's such a great way to start the meal. I love biting into a warm roll. It's really nice and crusty and crispy and then fluffy on the inside and just dipped in a little bit of olive oil. It's just so nice and comforting. Next, I'm gonna be trying their special soup of the day, which is their onion soup with cheesy bread. And the waitress really recommended this one, but she said she loves how warm and comforting it is just in this little pot. I'm just gonna go for a taste of our soup first. It just looks like really dark, caramelized onion rich broth with just long slices of onions, and I love onions, so I have a feeling this is totally my type of soup. Wow, she wasn't kidding about that being hot. You definitely got to be careful because I kind of burned my tongue a little bit, but wow, it was worth it because I just got that warm and actually burning hot taste of the onions, and it really does just taste so sweet and caramelized. And when it's really caramelized like this, it just brings out a real nice nutty flavor, which I'm just obsessed with. And now I want to go for the cheesy bread, which is just like soaking in the soup and all this delicious goodness. Oh, that is fantastic. Definitely do what I did and get to the bread as soon as you can, because when you bite into the end, it's still crispy and crunchy and cheesy and rich. And then when you bite into the bottom of it, it's just juicy and like an explosion of soup in your mouth. But again, just be careful since it will be very hot. Next, I'll be trying out their grilled eggplant appetizer, and this just looks amazing. It's slices of grilled eggplant as well as slices of tomato and mozzarella cheese, and just with a little bit of balsamic and olive oil, and just looks really nicely presented because it's just put on this nice little skewer. Oh, that is amazing. You just gotta get a big bite like I did with a little bit of everything. I love the charred eggplant. It's very heavily charred. And then you have the raw tomatoes for some juiciness. And then I love the taste of the cheese because it just brings this really fresh dairy flavor. Now I'm gonna be going for my pasta. This is the linguine nero, and I'm really excited about this because this is squid ink pasta topped with rings of calamari. I just wanna start with a little bit of the calamari. Wow, that is delicious. The squid is perfectly done. It's so hard to cook squid, but it's very tender and soft and easy to chew. And this is intense as well, because you got like the thick squid ink gravy, which gives it a really seafoody and briny flavor. So you're definitely gonna enjoy this if you're like a seafood addict like I am. Here we go. This just looks magical. It just looks so dark and sinister, but also it smells tasty too. Oh, it really cannot get better than this. You got perfectly tender and chewy pasta, and then on top of that, you have the squid ink, which is not super briny now. It just tastes more savory and rich. And I also taste a little bit of hint of maybe a little bit of chili oil or black pepper, because there's a little bit of a faint bite. And you got all the fresh chopped up tomatoes on top just like this, and you gotta eat it with the tomatoes because it just brings juiciness and even more flavor. I mean, I feel like the way to eat this pasta is just to take the biggest bite you possibly can of everything, just so you can get the balance of flavors. Boom, let's do this. Just get a huge bite of everything. Oh, that is definitely how it's meant to be done. I mean, the best thing about it is just like the juiciness from the tomatoes and how that goes with the squid. Because to me, squid and tomatoes are an awesome combination. And then when you have pasta, it's just even better. And I really am taking every single ounce of my self-control right now just to not devour this entire pasta dish because I'm just addicted to it. And I just want to take bite after bite of this. Next, we got their wild mushroom ravioli. It was a really hard choice because I had to choose between their wild mushroom tagliatelle and their wild mushroom ravioli because both sounded amazing, but I decided to go for this ravioli since it's also made with a little bit of that black truffle oil. This looks amazing because it just looks like we have a thick, creamy sauce, and just when they brought all the pastas out, they asked if I wanted any grated Parmesan, and I felt like some freshly grated Parmesan would go great on this ravioli, so that's what I decided to do, and I'm looking forward to this bite because they just look so perfectly shaped, and I just smell all the rich creaminess and cheesiness and mushroominess, if that's even a thing. So let's go. My goodness, this is just out of this world. I love the tender wrapper of the ravioli, and then I get a taste of the truffle oil, which I love isn't too overwhelming. It's just like a hint, and then that really brings on all the flavors of the minced, chopped up mushrooms that are inside of this, and I love how they're wild mushrooms, so it gives it a really woodsy flavor, and it almost tastes like I'm eating raviolis in a forest, and I mean that in the best way possible, and the sauce is just even better. I mean, I would love to drown this sauce on everything because it's creamy, and I taste a ton of white wine in there, which just gives it such a light and pleasant sweetness on the tongue. Next, I'll be trying out the butternut squash gnocchi, and what I love about it is just like little pieces of the butternut squash mixed in there with the gnocchi, and it looks really pleasing because there's a little bit of olive oil on the bottom as well. I'm really excited about this because I rarely have gnocchi, since it's something you really can't make at home on your own, something you definitely gotta try at a restaurant, and I'm just excited because it feels really nice and bouncy and chewy just as I poked my fork into the gnocchi. Wow, this is simple, but sometimes the simplest dishes are best. The gnocchi has the best texture I could imagine. It's so smooth while being fluffy at the same time, and it's also got a really pleasant bite to it. I also love the flavor of everything that's in there because I love that the butternut squash is really small pieces, so it doesn't cover up the taste of the gnocchi, and I also enjoy the sage in there because they got all these slices of fresh sage leaves that have just been cooked together with all the oil and maybe with the gnocchi, so it just really spreads all of the flavor, and this makes it so aromatic and fresh tasting. Finally, I'll be trying the Salita Panini, which is their freshly made bread sandwiched with their homemade sausage, and I'm excited about this because I already enjoyed their rolls earlier, and this looks like it's the same type of bread that they use, which explains why those rolls are so tasty, because they're homemade. Oh, after I broke into this, it looks even better because the bread looks really crispified on the inside. It looks like it's absorbed all the fat and deliciousness and juice from the sausage, and then the peppers look so nicely roasted and charred. This is gonna be fantastic. Oh, I definitely bit off more than I can chew, but it was so worth it. I mean, it literally tastes just as good as it looks, if not even better, because the bread is amazing since it's homemade. Again, that same sort of bread they use for the roll, really nice and crusty and tasty. You can tell it's just like freshly baked straight out of the oven. And then with the sausage, it's just so juicy and nicely spiced. The red peppers are amazing as well, because I love how they're heavily charred. I know they're just really crispified and grilled and roasted, so they're really a little bit smoky, and then it brings out even more of the sweetness, which goes well with the sausage. Overall, this was a really well made and high quality meal. I'm really impressed by how everything here is homemade, literally everything. I mean, their pasta is homemade, their bread is homemade, and even their sausage is homemade. To me, this is what makes a really authentic and really delicious Italian meal, because the key is you gotta have fresh pasta and you gotta do it well, and they certainly deliver here. I mean, I could tell immediately that it was homemade pasta because it has the really delicious tenderness and chew that you can really only get from a homemade pasta, and I can taste that it was all made with love. I just finished up as much of the pasta as I could, and I made sure to get dessert. This is the brava torta, which looks amazing. It's like a little shortcake cut in half, and then they fill it with some berries as well as vanilla ice cream. Oh, this is totally my type of dessert. It really doesn't get better than this. You got the slightly warm shortcake on the bottom, and I love how that goes with the cold vanilla bean ice cream. And then you have the blackberry sauce as well as fresh, juicy blackberries, which bring a bit of tartness, and that really balances out some of the sweetness from all the ice cream. The waitress recommended this dessert, and she said this is one of her favorites, and I've learned at restaurants always take the waiter or waitress's advice. They know some of the best food on the restaurant menu. If you're looking for an incredible Italian meal, whether it be a panini or a pasta or the dessert, you gotta check out A Bellagio. You're just gonna have one heck of a feast here and have one ridiculously good meal. The service here was fantastic. My waitress was so friendly. She gave me a ton of different menu recommendations, and she just seemed really happy and passionate about the food here, and I can definitely see why, because their food is just seriously incredible. And as always, I really hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did, give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.